And there we are. We're live.
We are.
How you doing? I'm Kristen.
And I am Sean.
And we are starting a small video company, business. What would you call it?
It's a project at this point. I don't think we can call it a business until we have a business plan. And do we look like the kind of guys that have a plan?
I always have a plan.
That makes one of us.
You're just slacking. But anyway, we thought that it would be neat to kind of share our journey into film with anybody who kind of wants to see it, see what we're working with. Maybe you want to shoot shorts yourself. Maybe you want to get into movies. Not that we know how, but that's what we're doing. We're figuring out how to kind of get started making this stuff. So far, we have a handful of shorts that you can find if you go to cementshoe.com. We produce video under Cement Shoe Media. Sean also you stream games, right?
Yeah, I've been doing game streaming, but I think I'm going to move that back to my personal account just because I don't feel like it fits with what we're doing. Like it just
Not at all, but I never wanted to tell you that.
That's fine. It was an experiment, and that's fine. So I'm just not doing that now. I've still got stuff on Twitch, so that's fine.
Okay, cool. So we're hoping to do one of these short little casts every week, kind of let you know where we are on our project, what our project is, and any updates that we can make on that. So first of all, I thought that maybe we should go over what we're currently using to make videos, what we've used in the past, and what we're planning on using on this next one in January. So first of all, of course, is the idea and the writing. Now, Sean and I have been using Scrivener to write all of our scripts up front because I already have it. Sean picked up a copy, and so it makes it easy just to drop a file in Dropbox in a shared folder, and that way we can mutually access it and go through and make edits. There's also a lot of printing. I like to print things and edit them by hand. It helps me see things that I might otherwise miss reading on a screen.
Right, and it from my end, once I have it as a paper, it helps me to like make some notes on what kind of shots I want to get or how I want to split up the scene.
Mm-hmm. And Sean also likes to make content edits and then hand the paper back to me.
That's because I'm a jerk.
So, and you have another program for scripting, correct?
Yeah, I've been using Adobe Story, but I will just say up front, it's not very good. It's built on kind of a terrible platform. So it's slow and awkward, and it's really hard to use it to collaborate with anybody who's not also using it. There are way better like dedicated screenwriting tools out there like Final Draft, and I just don't feel like we're at a point where that's necessary. We're just kind of writing stuff for ourselves, so we don't have to worry about other people seeing it, so we don't need that kind of like extreme level of formatting.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of it, because since I'm writing most of the stuff initially, we're editing back and forth, and then we're producing it. I feel like we already know what's going on, which might be a bad habit to be into at this point, but just for us, because it's us writing and shooting, I think Scrivener is working out really well, and I really like how easily it transfers over to, Word documents and such. So I'm happy with it. I've had some friends who say that it is not a perfect tool, and that's fine. We don't need a perfect tool right now. Until we get into anything bigger, I think Scrivener is great.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
And Sean is the tech mind when it comes to actually shooting stuff with my wonderful camera he bought for my birthday. I don't even know where it is right now.
It's sitting in the camera bag that I stole from you. I've really just been stealing your stuff and using it to make things with. No, we're shooting with a Canon 70D that I've installed the Magic Lantern hack firmware on, which kind of tweaks the camera to be able to do some video things a little bit easier. It makes some changes on how it deals with audio and how it formats everything, which makes it actually really nice for doing video, but it kind of makes it a pain in the ass if you have to go back and like reset it to be able to use it as just a regular still camera.
Yeah, I gotta say, taking actual pictures now is very trying.
Yeah.
But we got it because I wanted to do this. I wanted to make short videos.
Right. So the one we're using, it's again the 70D. It's the standard kit, so it comes with a 35 to 170 or 35 to 170 lens. I can't remember exactly what the.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's a zoom lens. It's not the best lens. It's a great kind of all around lens, and it's worked for what we're doing. But that's one of the first things that I think I'm gonna look at upgrading is getting some new cinema lenses to use on that camera, because lenses are a better kind of incremental upgrade than trying to bump up to a fancier camera. Like the camera does a fine job. I actually really like the 70D, but yeah, I
It
think
took beautiful pictures a long time ago.
it still takes beautiful pictures. You just have to change a couple of settings. Come on, get with it.
Okay, and then on top of that, for sound, because I know initially we didn't have the little magic box sound thing, which he'll tell you what it is in a second, and it resulted in a lot of aural issues. Is that the correct wording?
Sure, oral issues are absolutely a problem with that. No, when we started, the very first thing that we shot with the camera, we just used the onboard sound and didn't have any settings changed or anything, and it turned out okay for what we did. Things are looking better now. We've started capturing the sound externally. I'm using a Rode video mic and running that into a Tascam DR60 Mark II, which is really just a little external audio recorder, but it handles the sound a lot better than the onboard sound module on the camera itself. So that's really helped to clean up a lot of the sound issues that we had on our first go round with it. It's still a learning process. It's not perfect, and I'm by no means a sound engineer. But it's like one of the most obvious things in, making an amateur video be very amateur is crap sound. So that, relatively inexpensive upgrade has sort of bumped up the level of what we've done.
Yep. On top of that, for lighting right now, we're using what I like to call the chicken lights. Sean assembled some light stands out of PVC pipe, just a bunch of joints that slip together, lengths of pipe. And then we have, do they have a name for them? They're like the metal. I grew up on a farm where you used chickens.
They're chicken lights. I think they just call them clamp lights.
Yeah.
I picked them up for like $10 a piece at Home Depot and just put a high wattage color balance CFL in there, and it does. It lights a scene better than just using what's in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It's
definitely one of the things that is on our upgrade list. I think it's, what is it? It's lens, like a shoulder mount, and then lights. And we're looking at going with, we haven't picked any specifically yet, but the dimmable LEDs and that.
Yeah. There's some really nice like flat dimmable LED video lights that you can pick up for, I wouldn't say cheap, but you can get a kit of them that are decent quality for about $600, which, like I said, not cheap, but
You can get low-end ones for 150.
that you can get, yeah, you can get low-end ones for 150. And, you know, back in the day, it was, if you want a light for doing any kind of film work, you're shelling out $5,000 for a light. So it's a, you know, those are good, like, upgrades.
But I gotta say, if you're starting out like us, the chicken lights, the PVC pipe, like, it takes a lot. It feels like to me, because I'm the less patient one, to get everything set up, get the lighting right, fix everything kind of how we need it. That said, they get the job done. You know, if you're looking to spend the least amount of money, you're on a tight budget, you just want some lighting for your film. We've shot multiple shorts with the chicken light and PVC style lighting, and I think that's it that we're using for tech right now. You know, we have a tripod for the camera. We kind of created a you hang the microphone from it.
A boom.
I write the things. I write the things.
Yeah, no, our boom is
take apart a boom mic and just have, you know, the pole and affix the microphone to it, and it's worked out actually pretty well so far.
yeah, as long as your hands don't move on the actual pole, it's all right. But man, it picks up every like rub as you do it.
It's a work in progress. And I think that's pretty much it for the actual physical tech that we're using. Now, what are you using to edit after we shoot?
So for editing, just straight up, I went with the Adobe Creative Suite or Creative Cloud Suite. So it's Adobe Premiere Pro for your nonlinear editing, and then After Effects for doing effects shots, like we did in the Jedi wrestling video. And then for color, I've just been using the onboard built-in color tools that are in Premiere mostly. I've been playing with a program called DaVinci Resolve for doing color, but I'm also not a professional colorist, and that's a kind of a big topic to delve into, and it's easy to sort of get lost in the minutia of it when you're trying to get things out. Not that it's a quick process anyway, but it's also like doing color is a heavy learning curve. The plus side is that DaVinci Resolve is both incredibly powerful and it's free.
I was going to say it's night and day when you do color corrections, but that's bad terming when you're changing the lighting and all that.
Right.
And then on top of that, so the Adobe Cloud is $49.95 a month.
Yeah, it's right around there. It's about 50
Yeah, it's about $50, which is a little steep. I feel like there's a lot of access there that really changes the quality of the edits you're making.
Yes. Yeah. Having those tools available is amazing. And like there's this tricky thing, right? Like you could pay $20 a month to just get like any one of the Adobe tools. And as soon as you add a second one, it's $40. And at that point, you may as well just spend the $50 to get everything. And I do wind up using some of the other things. I use Photoshop for like building graphics and that sort of thing.
Well, and because of the nature of the package, we're actually able to write it off as a business expense for our other business.
Yes.
So we can just kind of funnel that off for now. Don't tell the IRS. Okay, so we kind of covered what we're looking to upgrade. I think we decided we were going lens first.
Yeah, I think the lens, picking up a new lens or two is going to be the first obvious quality improvement.
Yep, and we have a handheld Steadicam at the moment that's been a little unwieldy at times.
Yeah,
my shots tend to track upward, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to get used to, and it's hard to keep it balanced. And part of that is because like with the camera that we're using, as soon as you change the position on anything, it throws the whole thing off balance. Like if you, if you zoom the lens so that it's sticking out a little bit farther, now the whole thing's off balance and you have to like reset like the whole thing. And if you bump it, like the counterweight on the bottom might come like off-centered slightly.
So the next thing that we're looking at upgrading after the lens, we're looking at doing the shoulder mounts, I believe. Correct?
Yeah. Doing a at least a rudimentary camera rig is nice, because it's one of those things that you can spend money on, and if we upgrade the camera later, assuming we spend money wisely, then it's still something that you can continue to use. The lenses are like that as well. As long as we get stuff that uses that lens mount, those lenses aren't wasted. This is another one of those things that, it's a good investment to make, and it doesn't get wasted because you get to use it with, whatever you get later on.
Yep. And then after that, we'll probably be looking at lights. In the meantime, I need to sell some of my other hobby stuff to be able to afford to upgrade this to make our projects just a little bit better. In the past, Sean and I had talked about trying to release something every 2 weeks. Now, as people who own an existing business, and as parents, and people who just have lives, we've come to understand that that is not going to happen.
No,
it's not. So we sat down the other weekend and I badgered Sean until he wanted to divorce me. And we decided that we're aiming to shoot and release something once a month. We're only doing short projects for now, although we have some longer stuff written. But for now, we're looking at doing one of these, what are they, kind of like 3 to 10 minute sort of sketches every month. So we have at least the first 6 months kind of lined out with what we're going to do. We just need to work on organizing crew, having volunteers. I need to find actors, which is weirdly kind of a hurdle I have to get over. I think because I'm bad at asking people to do things. And I have to be like, hey, stranger, would you get in my crawl space and pretend to eat that body? No big deal. But for January, we're going to work on, it's something I wrote because, another great resource is Film Riot. I think that's where Sean learned everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Film Riot has been my online film school. There's a handful of other things that I've looked at, but Film Riot's kind of been the thing that I go back to because I kind of like the way that Ryan Connolly works, and his advice has been fairly spot on. Yeah, they are really amusing to watch too.
Yep. So I managed to catch part of a Film Riot episode where they were talking about cloning in video and how to set up the shot, how to clone everything over. And I decided that I wanted to write something where Sean was forced to learn to clone things, I guess, because I don't have to do that work. I'm sorry, Sean.
It's okay. It's what I do.
It's a skit that I loosely call Comments. It's going to be 3 of me involving swords and internet comments, I guess, is how you'd sum it up. And we're hoping to shoot that the 22nd of January and have it out within a couple weeks after that.
Yes. Which should be a problem.
All right, so far on that, we have the script mostly written. There's one little chunk that probably needs to be edited. I think we need to figure out the shots next.
Yeah, like I said, we've got the draft of the script. I'm going to go through and sort of line it out and figure out which shots we need to get and how to organize, like, getting that shooting schedule down.
Mm-hmm. From my end, I need to memorize all 3 parts and then design the 3 looks for each distinct character that's going to be cloned into the shot. We spent today partially searching for the perfect couch for this and failed to find it, so we're just going to borrow one from somebody, is what we kind of decided.
In the
Also-
spirit of true indie filmmaking, we're borrowing shit so we don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, pretty much. I like that $100. I don't want to part with it. And so after that, it's all just finding people to come help us the day of the shoot, buying enough beer to keep them happy during this long, painful process. And yeah, that's just kind of where we are at the moment. Anything to add?
No, I think this is one of the few times that we've actually gotten started on the organization early enough that you know, for a project at this scale, like it's not going to. We should be able to get everything shot and taken care of, and then like all of the extra time is going to be on the back end getting it edited, and hopefully that'll go fairly quickly.
Yep. If you're interested in following us anywhere else, I make a lot of dick jokes on Twitter. You can check that out at _therussian. Our actual website is cementshoe.com. We're at youtube.com/cementshoemedia.
Yes.
And Sean is on Twitter at SC Hayworth.
Yes, at SC Hayworth. Yeah, that's the best place to reach us, and of course at Cement Shoe Media on Twitter.
And yeah, if you like this, if you want to see more of this, let us know. And hopefully we'll be back next week with an update to let you know how close we are getting to the actual shooting of this script. So thanks for watching. Good luck with your own projects, and let us know how you're doing.